Well, hey everybody, it's Mac here, and well, I wanted to make this video for you all, and I want to wish you all a happy Easter. Now, first of all, I want to apologize to anyone who thinks maybe I'm throwing a lot on them, because I have been writing a lot on my Facebook, and I shouldn't be writing so much, especially about my personal beliefs and trying to influence people, so maybe I shouldn't be doing that. I just feel very strongly about it, and I just hope that maybe I've influenced you in some way, whether you believe or not, in a positive way. I'm here in my haunt prop shed. If you don't know, I make Halloween videos, and it was actually last Easter when we had this installed, and I remember last Easter being inside this shed working on Halloween props. So it's really nice to be in here again. But I was thinking about Easter and thinking about what it all means, and so I thought I would just, instead of writing a post which gets boring and dumb, and you can't even understand my you can't even understand how I truly feel or am persuaded when I write it in a post, because it just doesn't make as much sense as when I actually talk. So what I'd like to do for a second is to tell you about things that I've learned personally, what I've learned, and whether you believe in Jesus, that he was God or not. Let me know what you think about this video, and I don't really care about any comments, because I've gotten all of them before. So, I was sitting out here tonight thinking about the world, and thinking about just how great it all is. How everything just comes together so perfectly. And being over this spring break, I've seen so many incredible things. We went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, and that was pretty incredible to see some amazing things from all over the world coming together inside that one location. And just at our hotel, looking outside and seeing everything. And how people work together, and how just looking at a tree and seeing how it gives off oh man, I'm horrible at biology. I'm gonna totally mess this up, so I'm sorry. How a tree gives off oxygen. That sounded wrong. Anyway, a tree gives off oxygen, and we need oxygen. And we give off CO2, and a tree needs CO2. Just how it just fits like a puzzle, and how like an adult male has 23 chromosomes, and a female has 23 chromosomes, which somehow equals 46, which just happens to make a baby. It just seems all too coincidental to not make sense that somebody created this puzzle, created our story of who we are as people, as humans. I just thought that was interesting, so I wanted to share that with you. But more specifically, talking to you today about Jesus, which is a very hard topic to talk about, especially nowadays, which is strange because I saw that 83% of America is claimed to be Christian, but it doesn't seem like anybody's standing up for Jesus anymore. It just doesn't. And if you're someone watching this who doesn't know him, then I understand where you're coming from. And I was at a point where I didn't really care either. And I guess I was just found somehow. And if you do believe, then I'd like to welcome you to share what you've learned in the comments in this video. But I've learned some pretty interesting things. First of all, they never found his body after he died. And at the time, all the Jewish leaders, the high priest, the Romans, they all wanted his body, so how come nobody found it? If they wanted to, they really could. And with the technology we have today to find dinosaur bones and replicate DNA now from a woolly mammoth, don't you think we could find some guy's bones? Really? I guess not. Maybe he never had any bones. In the Bible, Jesus said that he was flesh and blood. So when he rose on Easter, he wasn't like a ghost. He actually was a person. And him dying, not many people seem to understand that, especially nowadays. A lot of people just kind of will go to church and go home and forget about it. It's Easter. But when you really think about what it all represented, it's really cool. You see, he was God on earth. To understand what we went through, he felt physical pain, he felt human emotions, and he expressed emotions. Anger, sadness, frustration, happiness, all emotions. Now, anger is not a sin depending on what you do. If you punch somebody, then that's wrong. But being angry in itself is not bad. It's just natural. And even Jesus experienced it. And he experienced sadness and happiness and everything that we experience. And when he died, not only was he physically tortured, I mean beaten and whipped and spit on, laughed at. He had to wear a crown of like thorns poking on him, and he had to be, worst of all, nailed to a cross, which, by the way, didn't just instantly kill him. He sat up there for like a whole day in the sun, and then he was fed like sour wine until he died, which is pretty messed up for anybody, even like a bad person, but especially him, who really didn't do anything wrong. He actually didn't do anything wrong, if you're familiar with him. But it's just amazing to see his story and how he died. And for what? Well, I think I figured it out, and so has a lot of people. They figured it out too. And he died, so here's how it kind of runs down in my head. I don't know if you think the same thing at all. But God is perfect. So anything that's not perfect is not like God. We're not perfect, so therefore we're not up here. God's up here, we're down here. And in order to get up there, we have to be punished in order to get back up here. But in order for everybody to get punished, that means we all have to go to that place. I'm not going to say what it is, but you know what it is. But when Jesus came and he was God, he took the punishment and put all of our bad things we've done on his shoulders because he could handle it. And now we're lifted from it. He forgave us. We don't owe anything anymore, which means now we can go up here. And the only thing we have to do to get up to here is believe in God and believe in Jesus, especially. I haven't done anything to deserve God. I am not like God. I'm not perfect. I've done many bad things. I've lied. I've said bad things. I've thought bad things. I'm not a good guy, really. I'm not a good person. God is the only true good, and he's up here, and I'm down here. But when Jesus died, no matter what I've done, he forgave it. So when I'm down here all dark and dirty, he cleaned me, so now I'm clear. And I'm up here. So that's why I'm able to go to heaven. I know I'm going. Not because of anything I've done, but because of what he's done for me as a person. And because he's God and he can do that. He has the power to. I can't instantly heal people and raise people from the dead and raise myself from the dead because I'm not God. But he was. So I'd like to encourage you this Easter to definitely consider Jesus, just try him out. And trust me, you're not going to go wrong. It's not religion. I want to tell a lot of people that because they get confused. They see all these people like bowing and have the weird things and they're throwing salt and they have the crosses and they're rubbing holy oil all over themselves. That's not what it's about. Just talking to God is the most precious thing you can do with God. Just praying, just talking to him. You don't even have to bow down and do this. You can just talk to him. I can talk to him right now. Just talking. Just like I would do with a friend, with my dad. Because that's what God is. He's your perfect dad. So if you don't know Jesus yet, I know I say it a lot, and I say it a lot on Facebook, but I really encourage you to try him out. Because when he died, he was thinking about you. And he cared about you an awful lot to do that. So whether you know him or not, know he knew you. And he thinks you're very special. Because I don't know if I'd die for someone if I didn't think they were truly special. But obviously, obviously, he did. And he cares a lot about you, and he's been waiting for you. And Jesus doesn't know a better time for you to meet him than today. So make this Easter the best you can, and introduce yourself to God, and he'll introduce himself to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. And of course, for all things Halloween, and now Easter, I guess, this is Hauntformer.